What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we are here with Toyota yet again, getting to check out the all-new 2024 Toyota Tacoma. This is the 4th gen, of course. Now this was a truck that we actually did a full review on a couple weeks ago, and after seeing all of your comments on all of the Toyota content that we made, we are here to answer some of your questions now for this all-new truck.
We're going to do somewhat of a buyer's guide as well. We're going to go over the 8 trim levels available, things to look out for when it does come time to purchase the 4th gen Tacoma. And then like you said, we're going to go over a lot of your comments because this is new. A lot of you haven't seen this. This is our 2nd time now, and we filmed 3 of them at an event a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of cool to address some things that we're finding out about it the more time we've had to play with it.
And since I will be buying one and ordering one, I'm going to go over some of my thoughts and opinions of the truck so far, especially compared to my 3rd gen that I recently sold. So let's start off with all the trim levels that you can get now for this 4th generation. We still have the SR, the SR5. There's a pre-runner now, which is an all new, or they're bringing it back. We have the Sport, the Off-Road, the Pro, and the Trail Hunter 2. So really the pre-runner and the Trail Hunter are the 2 new trim levels for this 4th gen. And you have so many different options and accessories that you can get for this truck, which is pretty awesome.
So let's start up front, I guess. So something that a lot of you address, halogen turn signals. Keep in mind, this is pre-production. As of now, everything you've seen is all pre-production. That could change. There could be an LED headlight option. We don't know yet. Yes, this one does have halogen bulbs. It'd be nice to see LED. I guess we will see. Front end styling, this does totally look a lot like a Tundra. I think it looks fantastic. Mike loves it.
I love it, yeah.
Most people seem to love it. In person, I think it's amazing.
The one thing that I don't like, they put the air dam back on this model. It was off at the expo we went to.
Yeah. From
what I've been told and from previous models, there's only like 7 tabs that hold it in place. I'm taking that off day one. I don't know why they put it on the off-road.
I think everybody's gonna take that off.
Yeah, everyone's gonna take it off because it came on the Sport on the 3rd gen. They left it off on the off-road, but now it's back on. But I'm taking that off because it's just gonna get hit.
Yeah. All right, wheels and tires. So this one has 265, 70, 18. So these are 18-inch wheels, a nice off-road style, and it has Bilstein suspension and coil springs in the back. Leaf springs are only on like what, the base models, I guess?
Yes, I think the base models, because the Off-Road, the Trail Hunter have the coils, and then base models are the leaf springs in the back. So it's a higher trim level to get the coils in the back, basically. And all the disc brakes, though, are on all the trucks.
Yep.
So for the rear now, they ditched the drum brakes. Now we have
the last vehicle Toyota did that on, right?
Yep, last vehicle that they decided to upgrade those brakes. But let's get back real quick, Bri, to the wheel arches, or the fender arches, if you want to hold the camera real quick.
Yeah, so some people had concerns thinking like stuff in 33s or 35s, because you had 34s on your Tacoma.
Yeah, they were almost 35s. I had about a 4-inch lift up front. Honestly, it doesn't really look like it should be any different. My one concern is the cab mount in the 3rd gen. Everyone was doing the cab mount chop or the cab relocation. I can't really tell what's underneath here, but it doesn't look like it's going to be as hard to trim whatever this is, part of the frame there. And it actually looks like the inner frame might be a little bit pushed in. Obviously it's hard to tell because I don't have a wheel to mock it up.
Yeah.
But I don't see any issues. I'll put 35s on mine and we'll see what mods or if any that you need to do.
It is definitely squared off, but I mean, this is a...
But it's still, it's still pretty good. You might have some trimming to do up front, and obviously if you're modding a truck, that just comes with modding it. You want to put on 35s, you're going to need to do some work to fit them, right? And so...
The rear looks like there's more of an opening there.
Yeah. It almost looks like it's higher up than it is on the sides, and when you're off-roading, you're going up and down. You're not going front to back.
Yeah, I see that.
While you're stuffing in, part of the tire here, we'll see. It's going to definitely be doable.
And then another thing I wanted to point out, these trailing arms, I feel like are kind of low. So I know on our dad's 4Runner, it's kind of the similar setup. This is a lot lower than the frame. I'm curious if that scrapes. It's kind of in line with the gas tank, so maybe it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
That's just one thing I've noticed about that.
It's going to be interesting because your breakover angle is kind of up front.
Yeah.
But
maybe it will never hit.
If you're dropping on rocks, your breakover angle kind of comes back to here.
All right, so moving on now, let's talk about the rear bumper. So one thing that is noticeable, it is kind of a high clearance bumper stock, noticing how the bedside used to like kind of do this and everything.
Yeah.
So the bumper is out of the way, but...
It's weird though, we have visible lift points. From what we were told at the last expo, you really don't want to be lifting from the hitch. This is more for pulling. So we have part of the hitch here or ended, welded to the end of the frame. The frame rails go all the way to here. So we have the visible lift points. But what's also interesting now is that we have the hitch. The hitch is now welded to the frame rails themselves. On my 3rd gen, it was a bolt-on. So I could unbolt the bumper and the hitch, put on my high clearance, do all the cutting I needed to. On this, it's gonna be interesting to see because you're not
taking that off.
You can go with the ARB bumper, like on the Pro and the Trail Hunter,
but it doesn't change the hitch or that section there.
It doesn't change anything, but it may be here because the rail's smaller, right?
That's the thing, it's about the same. So this is like high clearance versus the old one.
Right, so it's a factory high clearance basically, and you're gonna leave it as is.
So just the hitch I would say is gonna be the lowest point, and the spare tire.
Right.
So that'll be interesting as the rock crawling happens.
I might be ditching the spare then.
Yeah, we'll have to see on that. One more thing down low before we get to that one. The exhaust tip on your Tacoma.
Yeah.
You smash into your bedside.
Mine
and then
went right up into the bed, yep. Hence the high clearance rear bumper. But check this out.
Yeah, I like how they did that.
Can you actually get under here? On the Trail Hunter, right there at that connection, the exhaust dumps down.
Yeah, you can see that flange. So the Trail Hunter has an exhaust tip bolted to that flange, and it dumps in front of the axle. So on this off-road, you can take this whole section from here off and probably put that little dump there. So at least it's nice how it's built where you can make it and get it out of the way.
Day one, I could do a tuck dump right by the axle there. Should we move on to the tailgate now? All right, so in our full review, we talked about how you can push a button on both sides. Each taillight has that. You can use the key fob, you can use the button up underneath. What a lot of comments were saying is, what if you go to push it and there's like rocks stuck in here or something? Is it going to break this mechanism? Well, think about a power liftgate on an SUV. That's been around for several years. When you have a liftgate open up, maybe you have to stop it from hitting your garage door like I've done in the past.
Let's try it. Let's see what happens.
You can also just kind of tap it too.
Put some resistance on it.
It's gonna stop.
Yeah.
And you can stop it, and then you can just go, you kind of have to reset it.
Now, how much force do you think you pressed?
I really didn't put much force on it. I kind of just stopped it from moving, and then you can just kind of reset it from there. So yes, it's another mechanism versus just doing it manually, but it's not new technology. It's been on the other pickup trucks too. So it's not something that I would really worry about. I mean,
and if that wasn't much force to stop it, I don't think that issue will come up.
Yeah, so like a rock or something stuck in there, it'll stop it. It's not gonna like crush it like a nutcracker or something, you know?
Next thing, some people commented about this. This is the shape of the roof. So it kind of has an integrated spoiler. I know some people asked about, is that removable? That's the body shape. That is the new style with the new Tacoma. I do like it. I think it looks great.
I think what I'm going to do if I get an off-road, well, let's not talk about that because that'll be a cool video to do.
Yeah.
I got some ideas that you guys will hopefully like. But what's next on our list, Bri?
Yeah, we have a nice list right here for you guys.
So next up, let's go to the back seats again. I have the front seat set at my height. And I know a lot of people are still kind of concerned about how compact it is. It's not a full-size truck. But at 5'10", I can sit behind myself. I have a few inches above my head. What I will knock Toyota on a little bit, it's not gonna stop me from buying this. There's no climate vents in the back still. So they haven't added that. There's a spot here. We have some auxiliaries, which is nice, but they need the climate vents back there. That was a concern that some of my passengers had, which I would love to see. Another thing that I wanted pointed out that is different from my 3rd gen is the fact that they have lost that hard backing on the back of the seats now. So for the storage space, you get a little bit over on this passenger side, but I really utilized this space, putting my hitch, tow straps, anything that I had. So it's still a good bit on that side. We have the JBL speaker on this side, so there is no storage, but you can't flip up the bottom of the seat anymore and have that nice flat surface. I know a lot of people with dogs like to have that, so you could put in all of their items and have your dogs with you, but at least you can fold them down. With the hybrid, you also get no storage underneath because this is the entire battery system. Without it, I'm sure you still get that storage. So I'm just going to have to figure out with the small size truck that this is, where to put some of those items because I want this engine, so I will be missing a little bit of storage. But you also can still fold down the headrest. So you can do that if you need a little bit more visibility when no passengers are in the back, or to fold them down so you can have those front seats a little bit farther forward. The biggest change for this 4th gen Tacoma is the driver's seat. This can actually raise up and down now. So we have the power adjustments
So you're going down right now?
I'm going down right now. That's all the way down where I have...
How much headroom are we talking about?
Maybe 4 inches.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah, and now I'm 5'10". If I go all the way up, we're still going.
I can see your head go.
We're still going. Dude, I'm not touching.
Really?
My spiky hair is, but I'm not touching.
And then what about front to back? Because you had plenty of legroom, obviously, with your height.
And obviously, so that's all the way back. I could actually drive from here. We have the telescoping steering wheel.
Does it go up and down?
Huh?
Up and down?
Yep, up and down. That's not new.
Okay.
Obviously, there's not much room. Actually, take a look at the back.
So this is all the way back?
This is all the way back. Can you fit back there, even if I kind of adjust the front of the seat up some?
Let me try. Nice grab handle.
So this is someone who's probably over 6 feet tall.
Wow, I'm 5'11".
If you actually had to do this.
So I'm 5'11" actually. This is, I don't think I've sat in the back seat last time.
Look at your headroom.
So I'm sitting here. I have 2-3 inches of headroom. My knees are on the seat.
Yeah.
But it's not uncomfortable at all.
I don't think we could do this in my 3rd gen.
We couldn't.
But I never went all the way back-ish.
This is actually fine.
Then we'll go all the way forward for people who might be a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
If you come back around.
Wow. Okay, not bad. I think the only downfall would be the air vents, but comfort-wise, oh my gosh. I mean, comfort-wise is good for me, but
I can't.
I think
it keeps going forward, but I can't go forward.
Yeah, so I think you could. Wow, that's insane.
You got a lot of adjustments.
The whole seat is in front of like the pillar almost.
Very nice to see.
So one more thing while he gets the seat back to normal.
Yeah.
Again, this is a pre-production car, so the plastics you're seeing on a lot of this is not correct. So
even up here.
Yeah, don't knock the car for that. Some of the materials are just not correct. Even on the right side, that's a fake handle over there.
Yeah.
So just keep that stuff in mind.
Garage door buttons was also another one. Those are actually integrated into the bottom of the mirror. So yes, we will have garage door buttons, and you can go through that HomeLink system and program that as needed. And then we have all the drive modes that are located down below with all the lockers, sway bar disconnect. A lot of people were talking about a front locker. So if you come back out, Bri, we'll talk about that. The Toyota representatives that we talked to last time when we reviewed this were talking about how the sway bar disconnect along with crawl control is basically a really good alternative to just having the front locker. So with the sway bar disconnect, you can have more tire coverage on the ground, which means less slipping. You have the lockers as well for the rear. Crawl control gives it some kind of transfer case lock. What was that?
I think it was torque vectoring.
ISO
No, like
something
torque
convert
vectoring.
Torque vectoring something. There's technology up front I'm not sure about that helps act as a front locker. So technically you get sway bar disconnect and you get a front locker with crawl control.
Yeah, basically it'll apply brakes to the wheel that's slipping to help send power on the other side.
Right, so it's almost a win-win. You get a bonus feature even though there's no front locker.
And I don't think you need it because we went off-roading the other day in a Bronco, and with just the rear locker, we only needed the front locker. Actually, we only needed the front locker,
only needed it once.
But we mentioned if we had a sway bar disconnect, probably didn't need it.
Yeah.
So there's cars out there with front lockers and no sway bar disconnect.
Right.
So I think this is perfectly fine.
Yeah. And last up is remote start. I haven't been able to figure it out on this truck. Maybe that's because it's a pre-production. They've offered it in 3rd gen models from the factory. So we'll just have to wait and see. I've tried the triple tap in the lock, holding it, everything. So maybe it's just not on this model. I'm sure it will be something that will be on the production model. So we'll just have to wait and see.
And one last thing was reliability. So a lot of comments about the turbo, all this stuff. Toyota has been doing turbos for decades, just not on a lot of US cars. So we haven't seen them, but Toyota certainly has done this time and time again on Land Cruisers in other markets. And the way they said they've tested these, they have basically cranked them up in boost and abused these engines, and they're working. And the hybrid system, Prius has been around for 2 decades.
20 years, 20 some years, yeah.
And they're very reliable. So
I also heard too that a lot of people reference the Tundra with the new engine in the Tundra and how it had issues. From what we were told from some of the Toyota reps, on the Tundras, they only had a computer glitch that they had to re-update the software.
On a couple hundred
cars. And it was
cars.
only a couple hundred. So people see one issue and they blow it up.
And the Sequoia, the only issue was the chain on the spare tire.
Right.
Nothing else.
So like there were no actual mechanical issues with the engine. That, and again, you take a little bit of information, you blow it up, and you say, oh, Toyota engines suck because of one thing. So
we all know
Toyotas are reliable.
Exactly.
This thing's gonna last forever, and I'm gonna be one of the people to show you once I get mine in.
Well, there you guys go. Buyer's guide as far as what we know of this new Toyota Tacoma. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content.
And of course, when Mike buys his Tacoma, that'll be some fun.
Yep.
We'll see you guys in the next video.